A question I get a lot is, should I put money toward my PUA rider or should I put it toward my outstanding loan instead? The reason why people ask this question is because adding money toward my PUA or paid up additions rider continues to build my cash value and I continue to earn interest on all of my cash value, whereas putting money toward my outstanding loan saves me on loan interest. What people really want to know is which one gives them the most money, which I would want to know that as well. So today we're going to answer that question and we're going to look at an actual policy to do so. So what we're going to look at is as follows. We have someone who has had a policy with us for about 4 years. Where he's currently at is he has $420,000 in cash value. This is his total cash value that is collecting dividends and interest. Now he has $300,000 outstanding in loans, and he has a net cash value, which is money that's available to borrow, of $120,000. If you're new to whole life insurance and that confuses you, here's how it works. Pretend that you have a home that's worth $420,000. Your home value appreciates, meaning the fair market value goes up. If you sell it now versus 10 years from now, you're going to sell it for a lot more 10 years later because the real estate market hopefully will continue to go up. So if it's valued at $420,000, but you have a loan outstanding of $300,000, if you wanted to access equity, you would only have access to another $120,000 if your bank let you access 100% of your property value. But with a life insurance policy, how that's similar is if my cash value is $420,000 and I have a loan outstanding of $300K, I still get dividends and interest on the full $420,000. But if I have a loan outstanding, what I can access is my total cash value minus my loan. So the net cash value represents your equity, what you would have access to if you were him. So in his situation, he's paying a premium of $14,000. And what he's also doing is making PUA payments every month of $3,000, which comes out to $36,000 per year. Add the $14K premium plus the $36K PUA, his total out-of-pocket on a yearly basis is $50,000. Now he's 4 years in, he has $420,000. How he's done that is in the first couple of years of the policy, he put in more than $100,000 per year. So he was stuffing the policy initially. So his question is, should I keep doing this? Do I keep putting $36,000 per year toward my PUA rider? Or do I stop my PUA payments, but take that $3,000 per month and put it toward my loan instead? There's pros and cons to both. Let's look at putting it toward the PUA rider first. Money that he puts toward his PUA rider will build cash value. Cash value earns dividends and interest. If I then take a loan against my cash value, let's say I put 36 grand in PUAs and I borrow out 30 for the majority of it, I still earn dividends on the money that I added to PUAs. So anything I pay into PUAs keeps on earning interest. That's the appeal to continuously putting more money into the policy. It continues to compound for me. Versus putting it toward the loan. Loans have interest. Interest is paid to the insurance company. Loan interest is not paid back to my policy. It goes to the company. So the question is, should I put my dollar toward my paid up additions rider or toward my outstanding loan? That's what I want to know. And my specific question is, if my goal is to get the most money, which one is going to net me the best results? Here's how you get the answer. Look at the numbers. What we do in cases like this is my favorite thing to do, is prepare illustrations that show here's exactly what your policy looks like if you pay $3,000 per month toward your loan compared to paying that $3,000 per month toward your PUA rider. This way, if it's you, you can see I'm paying the exact same dollar amount to this exact same insurance company, but I can see which one gives me better overall results. And then we can also look at doing both. Sound good? All right. So what I'm going to do here is walk you through a document that we put together for him because it's a document I like a lot. It also shows you how we work with clients. I like to organize things as much as possible because this stuff is generally not easy to remember. So we've been working with him for 4 years. All of our clients we reach out to every 6 months. But anytime I provide a response, even if I know someone knows the answer, I like to repeat things that I have forgotten in the past. And if they tell me to stop, I'll stop. But I don't like to assume someone remembers everything I said after one meeting, because I don't remember everything I said after one meeting. So first, he had some specific questions. This will all tie in to the numbers we're going to look at. His first question was, do I have to pay the loan interest? The answer is, no, you don't. Provided you have enough cash value to cover that loan interest if you don't pay it. I'll elaborate on that in a little bit. His next question was, well, what if I don't pay the loan interest? The answer is, you'll be fine, but what will happen from a transactional standpoint is the policy will take a loan from the cash value to cover the loan interest. And if you're an agent, replace the word from with against. Some of our agent friends don't like when I say from the cash value. It means the same thing. All right, so if you don't pay the loan interest, a loan is processed with your policy that borrows against the cash value to cover the loan interest. The loan that is used to cover the interest payment is then added to the loan balance. This is why people feel the loan balance compounds. You're going to see this when we go through the illustrations. The death benefit on your policy is reduced by the amount of the total loan. Anytime a loan is outstanding, our life insurance benefit is reduced dollar for dollar. While all of that can make you sad, this makes things seem better. Remember that the policy continues to earn dividends on the total cash value, which includes the loaned and non-loaned portion of the policy. So going back to his policy, he's got $420,000 of total cash value, $300,000 is loaned, $120,000 is not loaned. He's getting dividends still on the full $420,000. So that does help offset the loan interest on the policy. Next question. Is there a case where I have to pay the loan interest? Yes. Which might contradict this question up here, which was, do I have to pay the loan interest? So we said no, as long as you have enough cash value. Here's not having enough cash value and what it looks like. Where you would have to pay the loan interest, or some of it, is if you were to take a maximum loan and pay 0 toward the premium, 0 toward the PUA rider, and also 0 toward the loan interest. In this case, the loan interest that is due will likely exceed the total dividends and interest you are receiving. Again, is if you took a maximum loan. So the $420 he has, if he borrows the full $420, that's where the cost to borrow can exceed the interest earned. I would have to come up with something, typically not the full interest, but a minimum amount in order to prevent a policy from lapsing in a case like that. If the policy is 10 plus years old, I might not have to. It depends on the net growth rate year over year, but that can happen, and it's important to look at that. The good news is you can forecast it years in advance. All right, so those are some questions he had. Here's another question. Do I need to worry about my policy? No, he doesn't. Now, even though we've been working together for a long time, he just wanted peace of mind here. I get that. So no, your policy is healthy. You've got a very high cash value balance when we look at it net of the loan. So having $120,000 in available equity, even with that $300,000 loan, like he's good. Like I looked at it, and in 2 seconds, I'm like, oh, I've got zero concern here whatsoever, because he's got a lot of cash value in there, and he's still paying the minimum premium of 14 grand, and he still continues to pay that. He plans on continuing to pay that. He's still adding $3,000 a month toward PUAs. We would only need to worry if we stopped the premium payments, we stopped the PUA payments, we borrowed the maximum, and then we did not pay anything toward loan interest. Then that scenario I mentioned earlier could happen where we would have to come up with something. But to answer his question, do I need to worry about anything? No. He's in a very good position. And again, he stuffed the policy in the early years. His minimum is about 14K. He stuffed it with about 10x that initially. So it was a 1090 split initially when he max funded the policy. Okay, let's look at the analysis and answer the question, should I put money toward my PUA rider or toward my outstanding loan? So here are the 5 scenarios we had up earlier on the whiteboard. What we'll look at is everything on Excel. Firstly, we've got the illustrations here. So everything you're going to see on Excel is pulled directly from these illustrations. Notice they all start in year 4 because he is in policy year 4 right now. These are referred to as in-force illustrations. Okay, so let's start with the first scenario, which shows what things look like if he pays the minimum premium, and that's it. So different columns, total out of pocket. This year, it's 50 grand because he plans on paying the premium plus the PUA. But then starting next year, he's paying the $14,000 premium, and that's it. So the total out of pocket matches the total premium because he's only paying the premium. Total out of pocket column, that's something extra I add in there, really to simplify things, because when we look at different scenarios, sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm paying money here, I'm paying money there, this is confusing. How do I show someone just their bottom line out of pocket, especially in a case like that, this. So this is what it's meant to show. And again, what we're doing here, up top, is paying the minimum premium and not paying any loan interest. So my loan balance is going up, but he's not taking any loans. Why it's going up is because this loan interest that comes due every year, if I'm not going to pay it, the policy takes a loan against the cash value to cover it. And if you're like, all right, how does that work? If you go back to the illustration, you can see it. Here's the loan interest. We're assuming it's not being paid out of pocket. So what you'll notice is that it matches this column, the annual loan. Loans are coming out to cover that loan interest. And the amount that determines how much I can borrow is the net cash value. Bottom line, I want to make sure my cash value continues to go up, which, when we look at the example here, you will notice that it does continue to increase year over year. I'm looking at the cash value down here. Is it growing by more than the $14,000 premium payment, even though I'm not paying the loan interest? The answer is yes. Then, we've got paying the minimum premium plus paying the loan interest. So when we look at this guy, what is your total out of pocket? $28,000 in change. That consists of the minimum premium plus the loan interest he pays every year. That's what's going on. Then you've got the loan balance. Does not get any higher than 305. The reason why is because you are paying this interest every year. This does have a fixed loan interest rate, so it's not going to increase. It eventually decreases when he's 65. That's just the provision, a provision that Guardian has where their fixed loan interest rate drops from 5% to 3.5%. It's actually a little bit lower than that if you pay it, which he is here. But that's why the interest payment drops. So that shows, all right, me just paying the loan interest. Let's hit on his question now. So what we've got here, pay the premium of $14K and then pay that $3,000 per month toward the outstanding loan. Total out of pocket is exactly what it is right now, because right now he's paying $14,000 toward the premium and $36,000 per year or $3,000 per month toward PUAs. Here we're assuming he applies that toward the loan instead. So total out of pocket $50,000, which again consists of the minimum premium plus the loan payment. There's the loan balance. It's coming down. The last year, our out of pocket is $36,500 because the loan was all but paid off that year. So in this example, we cleared the loan, and when the loan is paid off, my cash value, $758,000. Death benefit, $5.3 million. After that, we lowered the death benefit. We don't have to, but in this example, I chopped it just to improve the cash value growth of the policy. Main point we want to hit on, though. This is the example where I'm paying money toward my loan instead of paying it toward PUAs. Now let's compare that with paying it toward PUAs to see which one gives him the most money. So $14,000 premium, that's exactly the same. And then $36,000 PUA. There we go. Out of pocket, identical, $50,000 and change. And what we did down here in 2035 is reduce the PUA to $22,000 and change. Why we did that is because we wanted it to match the remaining loan payment. So I wanted the out-of-pocket to be identical, so it's a true apples-to-apples comparison. I don't want to skew the numbers so one looks better than the other. That would not be fair. Okay, so as I look at this, in this example, where I just keep adding money to my PUA rider, I'm ignoring the loan. The loan interest is just continuing to compound here. But the hope someone would have is if I put more money toward my PUA rider, that's going to compound for me, and then I should end up with more money, especially since we are not taking any additional loans here, even though he likely would. Here we're not modeling it. Here we go. There's my cash value and death benefits. Which one has more money? You can eyeball it. If you look at 2035, the example where I paid the loan down is at $758, whereas the example where I ignored the loan and added money to my PUA rider, my cash value is about $667. It's a big difference. This might help. Cash value difference. This is going to show how much more or less I have in cash value with the strategy of doing what he's currently doing, putting it toward PUAs instead of putting it toward loans. So if he said, based on my situation right now, I don't want to work past 47, where should I put the money? I'd say put it toward the loan because it nets you a lot more money. With that said, he plans on working longer than that. He also likes the idea that money he adds toward PUAs continues to compound for him. So a question was, can I keep adding it toward PUAs now and then attack my loan later? What will that look like? Which would lead us to option 5, which is do both. Put money toward PUAs now and then pay the loan down later. All right, let's take a look, shall we? So what we've got here is a fun one. He continues to pay the minimum premium. He pays $36,000 per year toward his PUA rider. Doing that puts his net out of pocket at $50,000. This is what he is very comfortable with, and it continues to grow his cash value by more than $50,000. So we see it compounding every year, which is good. Now, How long does he do this for? Well, we do this through 2035. We just kept it identical with the last model. The difference, however, is after 2035, his out-of-pocket stays the same at $50K. What do we do, though? The minimum premium. We stopped that. The PUA payment. We stopped that. All of the cash flow we were directing toward the premium and PUA rider, we are now directing that toward the outstanding loan. And you can see your loan balance coming down here, which is sweet. Of your $50K loan payment, at first goes toward interest, and then everything left over goes toward the loan principal. But we are paying that down. Here we go. When it's all said and done, when he's 62, cash value is close to $2.5 million. Death benefit has appreciated as well. Now the drawback to this is that I am paying a lot in loan interest. He's okay with that though, after we've looked at the different scenarios, because he does realize and understand that he's earning interest on everything. What he really likes in particular is the fact that at the end of the day, for one of his assets, he owns a business as well, he's got money in other places, his cash value is going to be worth close to $2.5 million based on the current dividend rate. That's if it doesn't go up at all as the years pass. So he is in a very healthy position in that respect. That's what he likes the most. Now with all of that said, things always happen, life always changes. We'll continue to monitor it over the years. But to answer this question, should I add money to my PUA rider or pay it toward my loan? If I've had a policy for several years and I have a large loan balance outstanding, what you will find is in most cases, applying it toward the loan will net you a higher return, especially from a short-term perspective. Now, short-term could be 10 or 20 years too. With that said, paying it toward your PUA rider does carry a significant long-term benefit in the sense that your money is compounding for you indefinitely. If it were me, what I would probably do is pay it toward the loan unless I said, I want to put it toward my PUA rider now to get more money compounding for me, and I'll eventually attack that loan, but I know that I'm going to have the cash flow or I have other assets to do that. Where people get into trouble is where they just say, yeah, I'll be able to take care of the loan eventually, and there's no real plan or assets there to actually take care of that loan. That is where we could get into trouble, because when we look at the numbers, if I've got limited resources or cash flow that is fixed, paying it toward the loan does net me a higher overall return. That's where looking at the numbers helps. That's really what we like to do at the end of the day. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. You could DM me, you could email us or email me or reach out to our company. I'd always love to connect and discuss all things cash value life insurance. And as always, I hope this helps.